Hello friend, I hope you are doing well and I hope you're staying warm because it's getting cold here. It is getting really cold and I don't know whether or not I like it. I don't know, I haven't decided on that yet, but you may be wondering, what is all of this? You're not in your usual setup. That is because I recently discovered Loom, which is a website and service that will actually allow you to create little videos like this. I think a lot of people use it for their business, but I thought it would be neat to create a little video because I got a 2-week free trial and I thought, why waste it? I should totally use this to create a cool video. So what we're going to do today is try to make a hypothetical Betta tank using only $60. I made one of these a while back, but I actually set a budget of $100. So this time we're going a little bit lower. Now, typically your budget's going to be higher than $60, but just for grins and giggles, I thought it would be cool to make something like this. And also, if you are on a budget, I think that this would be extremely helpful. Now, a little bit of a disclaimer, I'm going to be going to both Facebook Marketplace and Amazon. Those may not be available in your region, it just depends. I know that sometimes Facebook Marketplace is kind of picky. Some people don't have it in their region. So just keep that in mind. But I feel like typically for a lot of people, these two online sites are available and are very, very useful when utilized this way. So we are going to start out with my little list of things. I did write down the absolute essentials because when you're on a budget like $60, not including the Betta, you probably can't get everything. Even when you can find stuff for really good prices, you probably can't get everything. Everything meaning all the essentials plus little extra hides and stuff for your Betta and maybe some extra plants. So I've written down the essentials here on my handy dandy little stack of post-it notes. And today we're going to be focusing on the tank heater, filter, substrate, plants, and a dechlorinator. All of these are absolutely necessary. Now, like I said before, your budget will probably be higher than $60. So you'll also need to think about if you're going to purchase your Betta, which, side notes, there are actually ways to get Betta fish for free. Really, as far as I know, there are two main ways here. One I have actually used personally, so if you are familiar with my channel, you know who Walter is, my little Betta that I recently rescued a few months ago. I got him completely free because when my Betta William passed, I had an extra tank, and I thought instead of going to a store and buying it, let me just post on my city's local Facebook group. I suggest searching to see if there are any and joining them. I just posted on all of them, telling people what I was looking for, saying that I have an extra fish tank and I'm looking for a Betta fish. So if anybody had one they didn't want or were looking to surrender, then I was ready to take him on. And surprisingly, I got one answer, and that was Walter's previous owner. So super cool. I didn't pay anything for him, and I actually got to provide him a really great home and watch him grow and thrive, which has been so rewarding. So there's that way that you could get a free Betta. And then there's also, if you have experience treating sick Bettas, it is possible, although it's not always common, you can go into pet stores, and if you see a really sick one, the pet store might be willing to just give them to you because no one's going to buy a sick or dying Betta. But unfortunately, sometimes places like PetSmart and Petco, even if they look at the Betta and they see that it is extremely sick, they're not willing to part with it for nothing. Like, they want to make at least something off of it. So it can be a little tricky with that. So I do recommend looking locally and seeing if you can find one. Without further ado, let's go ahead and look at how to create a fish tank using $60. I went ahead and pulled up a few things because I think Loom will only give me something like 15 minutes to record, so I can't go over that. But let's start with the tank, and that's why we're here. If you notice, we're on Facebook Marketplace right here on the screen. We're looking for a fish tank. Now, typically you can get a 5 or 10 gallon tank. 5 is the minimum, but I'm going for 10 right now. With a budget like $60, you really can't get very fancy. So here you go. The basic rectangular 10 gallon tank, $10. It's very, very easy to find tanks like this for $10. I've looked everywhere in all different areas here. This isn't even, I don't even live in this area. It's just kind of all over with Facebook Marketplace, but this is what we have almost anywhere. I can search and I can find 10 gallon tanks for $10. Now, when I did look briefly, I did see this over here for $20, and look at this. Look at all that's included in here. the tank, the substrate, and look, air filters. And I think there's probably even a heater in there and stuff, and a water testing kit. So it's harder and a little bit rare to find listings like this, but if you found this, you'd be almost set for $20, and you could actually go under a $60 budget if you found something like this. But for the sake of this video, we're just gonna build it element by element, but this is a good listing. If at the time you are actually in this area, maybe see if it's still available, because that's a killer deal right there. Okay, so going back to Facebook, you're gonna find, let's say hypothetically, you find a 10-gallon tank for $10, or maybe even a 5-gallon for $5 or $10. So you grab your tank, you message the people, they're available to get it, boom, done, you got your tank. So we got the tank for $10. And I'm gonna write that down so I can keep track of everything. Next, we are moving on to the heater, and I do have a bunch of things pulled up here on Amazon already. Kind of ignore this whole thing here, but we're looking at a heater. Now this heater I have saved in my cart over here. I went ahead and kind of looked ahead to see some that were the best. Now for this one, this is actually a Black Friday deal on Prime. On this account, I do not have Prime, so the regular price would actually be $12. But if you had Prime, it would only cost you $9, and people seem to like it quite a bit. So let's say that we have Amazon Prime, and we pay $9 rounded up for the heater. So far, we're up to $19. Now, you really need a filter. A filter is very essential. I always recommend a sponge filter. So for that, you're going to need the sponge filter, you're going to need some airline tubing, and you'll need an air stone. All of that is going to actually cost more than something like this, a hang-on back filter. This is not my ideal filter, but if we're working on a budget, this is the cheapest option. So I found this Tetra Whisper power filter for up to 10 gallons for $14. It was the cheapest one that I could find that got decent reviews. So we'll write down filter for $14. Now we need substrate. Now, sometimes you can actually find this completely for free. You can either get it from friends, from family, maybe that keep fish. You can also look on Facebook Marketplace. I know that for me, when I was rescaping my tank, I actually gave all of my old gravel away. So it's highly possible you can find it for free, but let's say you don't. I'm also going to Amazon for gravel. On a budget, you probably can't get the ideal planted substrate. I really like planted substrate now that I've been using it, but I did find this over here. It's just regular gravel. You can get this for $15. And it does actually look really nice. It's 10 pounds. You may not need 10 pounds, but I do find that having more on hand is nicer. You could get 5 pounds of gravel and it might be a little bit cheaper, but this is actually a pretty good price. It's pretty, it has a nice natural look, and it's $15 rounded up. So $15 for the substrate. Now we need plants. For this demonstration, we're not going to pay money for plants at all because many people around you in your local area, maybe you have friends, maybe you have family that keep fish, they'll have plants to give you probably. At least in my experience, I have met probably almost 10 people just in my area alone, and it's not a very big populated area. My town is very small. They all gave me tons of plants for free. If you've seen my 2 tanks, I decked all of those out for free, or at least a very small fee, because I met someone online who sent me a bunch and only asked me to pay shipping, which was like $5. So for plants, we're just going to write free because you can get online on your groups. You can ask friends, ask people you know to give you some cuttings of their aquatic plants. It's very easy to find them for free or a very low cost. I do believe I actually have a video about this up on my channel, but if I don't, put in the comments if you would like me to show you how to find plants completely free or for a very small fee. Now the last thing we need on this list is a dechlorinator. This is very important because obviously you can't have chlorine in your Betta water. Here I found the cheapest water conditioner for $8. Now you can get a 1 ounce for $6, but I think it's better because you're going to use all of this. It's better to just get more. It's $8. So we'll write that down. Dechlorinator, $8. This was the cheapest one I could find. I use Chem Prime, but it is, I think it's about $18 for a bottle, 15. So obviously this one was half the price and people really like it. A lot of people use it, so we'll just go with that. Now we have all of our elements and all of the prices written down. So let's say it all works out this exact way. How much money did you just spend on your Betta tank? I'm just going to use a calculator. I'm sure that I could figure this out myself, but for the sake of time, I am going to use a calculator. $56. So you are $4 shy, which could cover taxes, especially for Amazon, because I do know they usually charge a small tax fee. And that gets you right at $60 for the tank. Remember, this is just your base. This is just kind of basic necessities. Your Betta is obviously the more natural items you can put in your tank, the better. The more plants, the more hides, you can really love it. So the more the better as far as decor, plants, natural things like driftwood, all of that is great. But when you're on a budget, these are the absolute basic things that you need that will get you in just under $60. So friend, I hope you enjoyed this. If you liked what you saw, let me know and maybe we can create some more of these in the future. As always, if you have any more video suggestions, always put them in the comments. I'm always open to suggestions and I cannot wait to see what you create. If you have not yet and you're new here, consider subscribing. There are so many helpful videos. I believe you will find it very helpful in your Betta keeping journey, no matter where you are. Also, if you have not joined my free Facebook group, the Betta Fish Forum on Facebook, I have a link to that in the description. Go there and join that right now. You need to get in a community of fellow Betta fish keepers. You're going to love it. It is friendly, it's inviting, and it's a wonderful place to ask questions. So friend, I hope you have a wonderful day. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you soon.